When I was first learning to play the guitar, one of the hardest things was scale memorization. You'd have these big box shapes, and in that box shape would have either 5 or 7 different positions. It would take countless hours of practice just to get one box shape to memory. And then once you did that, of course, you got to learn the next shape, and then the next box shape, and so on until you have all 5 or all 7. But I'd like to explore today a much easier way of learning scales, and this will apply to your major scale, your minor scale, or any other scale that you can think of. This technique will work for them all. Not only is this technique going to make it easier for you to remember your scales, but it's going to have you playing horizontally up and down your fretboard a lot quicker than the old traditional way of playing a shape all the way up and down. And this technique is also going to help you memorize the notes on your fretboard. So grab your guitar and let's get into it. So with that traditional shape, you're playing in one position through all 6 strings in one location, right? But here's the thing. Once you hit the octave, you're still playing the same notes over. So you were basically playing all of the same notes twice in this shape. So what if we think about this differently and we play up to the octave and then we move that shape up the fretboard and play it again up to the octave? Therefore, we're cutting that shape in half. So instead of our pentatonic scale looking like this, now our minor pentatonic scale looks more like this. And so with this much smaller shape, this is a lot easier to memorize. And this is an idea called chunking. And they do this a lot in academics, where when you're going to learn something new, you break it into smaller segments. And it's so much easier to put it to memory and to be able to remember what you're doing. So we apply that to the guitar, and we can do this with any one of our scales, whether it's major, whether it's minor, whether it's a pentatonic scale or it's the full major scale. We take that scale, we play it up to the octave, and then we just repeat that same pattern without having to change anything in every location where we find that starting note. And by starting on your root note and naming it, playing up to the octave and naming it, it's much easier to memorize where those octaves are. So if you're on A, you would say A, you would play up the fretboard. When you hit that A, you would say A again. And therefore, you're putting where your A notes are to memory, kind of like this. So if we're starting here on our A, and we play up, A, there's our octave, our other A note. And then, in the old way of doing it, when you play the rest of the notes, you're just playing the same 5 notes of that pentatonic scale over again. All right, so we're on our A. A. There's our octave. Now that pattern just repeats, starting on this new A. So as you can see, we slid up 1 fret on the B string to account for that tuning. And I'll show you a quick little trick. So when your octave falls on your B string right here, if you want to find your next A on the 5th string, you just skip a fret and go to your 5th string, and there's your other A. Did you see that? So we'll start from the beginning. A, skip a fret up to your 5th string, there's your A. A, pattern repeats, A. And so because of the tuning of the guitar, the high E string and the low E string are the same tuning, right? So when your A falls on your 6th string, on your high E string, you know your other A is on the 6th string right above it. So this is a great way to find all of your octaves and to learn the notes of your fretboard. And so the really cool thing about this whole entire technique of playing from your starting note up to your octave and then just repeating that pattern up and down your neck is you get to play everywhere. And so it gives you more positions too. So check this out. we have our first A right here, right? There's one position. We have an A here. That was 2 positions. We have an A here, 3 positions. We have an A here, 4 positions. We have an A here, 5 positions. We have an A right above it, 6 positions. We have an A here, 7 positions. And you can apply this to your major pentatonic as well, like this. There's your A. And so you can just continue that anywhere you want on the neck. And you can apply it to your minor pentatonics, your major pentatonics, your full major scale. You can apply it to your 3 notes per string scale if you'd like. Here's the A major, 3 notes per string scale. There's the octave. So you see, you can use it on any scale. It's definitely going to help you to learn your way around the fretboard. Just remember, when you're first starting out, practice it slowly and just make sure that you're calling out your root note and then you're calling out that octave when you hit it. A. And pretty soon, if you keep practicing that, you're going to know where all your A's are, and then you do it for your B's, your C's, and so on. If you guys found this tip helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to have a lot more videos coming soon.